Hey guys, in today's video we're at Margaritaville in Auburndale, Florida. It's an RV resort like right in between Tampa and Orlando. Pretty fun place to go. In our campground tours, we want to kind of give you guys a flow of how the video will go in case you want to fast forward at any point. Totally fine with us. We want you to get the most out of these videos and deciding if this is a place you want to book as well. So we're going to start with Jared's bike tour. He's going to do
world famous bike tour, by the way.
Excuse me, world famous bike tour. So you can see what the campground looks like to the best of our ability, and then maybe talk about some favorite sites that we point out that we like, that we might want to book if we come back again, and then our likes and dislikes, and then maybe 2 to 3 things that you can do here if you book a stay here at this campground. So let's get started. So let's go ahead and start with Jared's bike tour.
So as you can see, we have a lot of gravel sites here. Mostly bike in. There are a few pull-in sites here. Ooh, I'm freezing, slow down. And they have these little cabins you can rent. There's your basketball courts and the dog park there. So you can rent these cabins if you want to. They're just little cabins. So now we're getting into your pull through concrete sites. There's your laundry and bathhouse, shower house, whatever you want to call it. They do have a little license to chill bar here, and it's next to this water park right there. So looks like there's jumps and stuff out there. So those guys are crazy with another pool. Here's one of their pull-through sites, so full hookups of course, artificial grass, picnic table, and the fire pit. Rides you up to the pool, but up here's the pool and the putt-putt golf. There's a place for your kids to play. They have like a little play area play area. It's probably not the right word, but a place for you to have your kids while you're up there. It's the entrance here. And they got like a big meeting place there, and the camp store. And I guess if you get here early and they don't have your site set up, you can park your vehicles here while you're waiting on them to open up. And then there's a kiddie pool right there. So I did my bike tour pretty early in the morning. As you could tell, it was pretty quiet. It was the morning before Thanksgiving, so we caught everybody kind of in the transition. And as you can tell, kind of going through it, a lot of the sites are pretty similar sites. And then there's 2 pools, and then you've got the Myrtle Lake, which is next door, which I don't know what they do there, but it looks like they have fun. And then these sites to my left here, your left, some of these, like these 2 here, you can see how they're pulled in and backed in. They're buddy sites. So I know they said they had buddy sites. It took me a while to find these yesterday and kind of figure out what they were talking about. With these sites down through here, 367 and 366, kind of in that range, are your buddy sites. And that concludes Jared's world famous bike tour.
Well, we came here the week of Thanksgiving, so of course the weather is a little bit unpredictable this time of year, but it's like it could be warm and summerish, or it could be chilly and fallish. So
depends on the day.
Depends on the day, and we kind of experienced both different types of weather.
Well, as you can see, we're in long sleeves this morning, so it's a little chilly this morning.
Yeah, it's comfortable though.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to it. Favorite sites? Well, honestly, in this case, I only picked out, well, we picked out 2. One site I really like is site 22. We'll put up a photo. It's located on the other end of the campground near the north pool, and faces Lake Myrtle, that whole area. But site 22, of course, it's got the tiki hut, it's got a nice big concrete pad, and it overlooks the pool and the lake, and that little license to chill bar down there. So like, I feel like it's a great location, and you've got plenty to look at when you wake up and have your coffee in the morning. I love a good view, and you campers know, I think we come here to get not a room with a view, but a view for our room.
There you go.
That's what we do when we camp, right?
Good way to put it.
We bring our hotel on wheels and we want the view, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the other site we really like is actually the one we booked, which is
286. And the reason I like this site, minus, well, the big reason I like this site is we have a tiki hut, and we're far enough away from like the pool with the tiki bar that's actually kind of quiet back here.
Yeah, it's a little toward the other end of the campground, and even though we didn't quite get like the view, we have this little like industrial building behind it. There's still, the whole place is landscaped so well, and we've got the tiki hut down here on the end. And so in saying that, I think that because it's kind of a big parking lot, honestly, all of it kind of looks the same. In this case, if you're coming here, I would spend the money to get the tiki hut sites.
I would too.
And then so that makes that like our favorite sites, are any of the ones with tiki huts, because unless you're down by the pool in the water and you have that view, great. But if you don't, go ahead and get the tiki hut anyway, because you just kind of feel like you have your own little private covering and little vacation spot.
Well, and if it rains a little bit, or they just, I don't know, I don't think they're that much more money. And if you're lucky enough and you get 286 and you got kids, you're right next to the playground.
Right next to the playground, and like he said, far enough away from the music at night, because it does get loud here at night.
And this playground is not busy, because we're kind of at the other end, so most of the kids hang up about the pools. And this playground that we're at now is not real busy, so it's not like super noisy. So I really like the site we're in.
I bet in the summer though, it's probably noisy all around. So likes and dislikes. Let's start with our dislikes.
The list is shorter.
The list is shorter, but we do have some. My first dislike is you can't have a fire here. So no fire rings, no fire pits. You can't even have your little mini solo mesa if you got one. A solo mesa XL is our favorite because it's so easy to just put anywhere. But you can't even have that.
Maybe it's because we're under this tiki hut that would probably be like kindling, like you see in the Bugs Bunny movie when they hit the matches.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to have a fire under the tiki huts. We totally understand why. And of course, some of the landscaping around these sites, it's so well done, but there's a lot going on. I can see why they probably don't want to do a fire.
You can get back quick.
Yeah.
Now, you can have a fire if you want to lug around a propane fire pit. So you do have that option.
Yeah, if you want to do that, you can bring that, which is cool. But in saying that, with the propane gas fire pits, they do have some really nice gas fire pits up by the tiki bar and the pools. But you have to ask them to turn them on. It becomes like a community fire pit, which is cool if you like that thing. But to have your own private little fire, unless you bring your own little propane, it's not really happening here.
No, and I will say, this I'm gonna pile on the dislikes on here just real quick. If you're at the tiki bar at night, they had one of the things that was just kind of odd to me and Val was they had a DJ, which was fine. But they are also playing their other music. So you had like 2 or 3 different songs going on at one time, which kind of made it feel
like really noisy and busy. Yeah, I think what he's saying is there was a couple different areas where there was different music being played at the same time.
But you could hear it all.
Yeah, it was kind of like, what are we listening to? It was a lot of everything. Yeah.
That was kind of, I don't know,
yeah, if you have like sensory issues, I think. And then the kids, of course, hollering and playing, and like it was like, oh, okay, this is a little bit too loud. But
it was almost stressful to me.
Yeah, it wasn't like calming.
Right.
Yeah.
My really dislike that I have about it, and it's I don't know. I mean, it's like my diamond shoes are too tight, but it's like right behind this camera right here is a logistics building, and it feels, if you took away the landscape, which the landscaping is great. This is very much just a big parking lot. And we're kind of like, we've got the road, you can kind of hear I think it's the Polk County Parkway or something that's right next to us, you can hear it.
Yeah.
And then you got the logistics center. And so it's kind of like, it's nice here, don't get me wrong, it's really a great campground. But it's kind of like, if I'm coming 800 miles to Florida, I would want a little more Florida and a little less city.
Yeah. The pro to that, I think, because it does, I agree with Jarrett, it feels like paradise in the middle of a parking lot.
Sure.
In Auburndale, there's really not much going on. So I think for us, we prefer, like if we're gonna come here this distance, we prefer, some sort of natural elements going on, whether it's a river or a lake or a mountain or an ocean or
something.
Oh yeah, whatever, a spring, a rainbow spring in Florida.
There is a
something nearby that maybe isn't. And we kind of feel like we're in the middle of a couple subdivisions, and there's maybe like a Target down the street in Davenport or something. But like,
well, we haven't really ventured into Auburndale. I don't think this is Auburndale, but still. But it's just, we feel very.
It's like paradise in a parking lot.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's almost a pro though because of location. If you're wanting to go either way, like we said, and that's why we booked it actually, because we wanted to spend some time with my brother in Tampa, who lives in Tampa. We weren't sure what we were doing at that point. And then also we wanted to try Disney. So we were kind of between two locations. And you could go both ways. You could do Disney or you could go to the water, any beach, Clearwater, St. Pete, any of that.
Or you could go to the East Coast and go to the Atlantic Ocean. We're like really like right smack dab in the middle.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, location could be a pro and a con. But I think for us, we put it as a dislike because it was like, well, it's in a parking lot.
Yeah.
We're on to the likes. What isn't to like about this place? Honestly, even though it's paradise in a parking lot, it's paradise in a parking lot.
Yeah, so I was saying on our dislikes, paradise in a parking lot, as Valerie coined it, is like, it's nice because where it makes up for it is the landscaping. All the sites are super clean. You're on crushed seashells. You're not actually on gravel, which is I've always just kind of thought was neat. And then everything's got palm trees and nice finding the landscaping and just.
It's very nice. The staff is nice. They've got a big giant store up front. You can find anything you need in there.
The stores.
T-shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say the store actually has more than most stores, I feel like.
Yeah, they have just about everything. Coolers and cups and t-shirts. I got my t-shirt. Been there, done that, got my t-shirt.
Yeah, I bought me a swim shirt yesterday, and then it was even open on Thanksgiving Day, which was cool. But then there's like propane, and they got stuff for your camper and groceries, and it opens at 8 a.m.
Yeah, they open early, which is cool.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best likes is there's plenty to do here. So if you just came here to be here away from the crowds of Disney or whatever, then it's perfect. And there's plenty to do. Playground, ball courts, like Jarrett showed you, basketball courts. There's 2 really nice pools, water slide, great restaurants. In my opinion, it was good. I even had their margarita pizza. You had some wings. The girls had like a chicken wrap, and
Emily had fish sticks.
Fish and chips.
Fish sticks and chips.
They were frozen fish sticks and chips. Okay, so maybe not the greatest like gourmet dinners, but actually their pizza was really good, and Olivia really liked that wrap. So
she did.
Decent food for sure.
And then they do a good job with the way that it's laid out, because you got your main pool and then you got your tiki bars up there. But like if you're at the bar or if you're eating, you can let your kids go to the pool or play putt-putt golf or whatever, and you can still see them. So it's not like you're saying, I'm gonna go eat or have a drink and I'm gonna have my kids at the playground where we're at and you can't see them. So if there's enough to entertain the kids right around kind of the pools and the tiki bar area that they're there, where you can keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
While you're also enjoying yourself.
Plenty of tables to sit if you ordered food, and then there's like a barbecue place over by the other pool, so there's plenty to eat around here. Even a couple food trucks. There's a donut truck that comes by on certain days. So great options for food. Love that. You guys know I love that because I don't always like to bring my whole packed fridge full of hamburgers and hot dogs.
Right.
I like to eat what's on site, and the food here on site is good. Another of course, when you show up at a campground, there's a list of activities. If you're into those kind of things and you're staying here, not going far to do your activities outside the campground, They have a ton of activities going on here.
They do.
Even Thanksgiving Day, they had like a meal you could sign up for. We did not do that on Thanksgiving Day, but they offered it. So I can't tell you about it, but it was there and it was an option, so that was cool. But as we looked at Black Friday, if you don't want to fight Black Friday traffic, Margaritaville's got a whole list of things going on today.
Yeah, it's actually pretty nice. I mean, they do a good job of entertaining you. So it's one of the my likes is like if you come here, you don't really have to leave.
Yeah.
Especially if you live here close. You can come here, you can just enjoy your weekend. Your kids can be busy. You're around the camping community, which is really friendly. It's one of the things I like about camping. And then, you don't have to worry about your kids because you're kind of in this little bubble, your camping bubble, if you will.
It's been great. I've loved the site, loved the tiki hut. Thanksgiving was very quiet here. And matter of fact, a lot more people pulled in the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. And there's actually quite a few people here. And come to find out, like as you were saying, people were very friendly at the bar. We were talking to, some other campers, RVers. And some of them were local to Florida and just came here just for Thanksgiving weekend. And I thought that was interesting. Like, they weren't even doing the traditional family thing either. They were coming to Margaritaville.
Yeah, they're just getting them away for the weekend.
Yeah, so pretty cool place to come, even on the holidays. Moving on to things to do. So we've kind of already covered that, but because of location, you can do anything in Florida.
So if you don't mind driving, where we're at in Florida, we're right off I-4, so you can get to either coast pretty easy. And then we're only 30 miles to Disney, so depending on traffic, that could be 30 minutes or that could be an hour and a half. We were here at Thanksgiving, so it kind of gravitated more to the hour and a half side. So then one of the things you can do here, and it's part of the reason we booked this, is we're actually pretty close to Disney. And it's a lot more reasonable to stay here than it is at a Disney property. And so we decided, hey, this kind of gives us the best of both worlds. We're close to Disney and we're close to Valerie's brother in Tampa. So let's just, Margaritaville, we've always heard it was nice. So let's check it out.
Yeah, so I know you guys have heard us say that we don't like big crowds, and Disney isn't always our favorite thing to do, but Disney is always awesome. And in this particular case, like, we actually chose to come to this location to go to Disney because our daughters were coming with us, and our oldest daughter, who's 18, like, we don't really know if this is one of her last like longer camping trips with us. You never really know when your kids are growing up, like, what that's gonna look like. So they really wanted to come, and I thought, okay, this might be one of our last opportunities to get the two of them to bond and enjoy that. And so for those reasons, we're like, okay, we're gonna take one for the team. We're going to Disney.
And we went, and it was Disney. It was Disney at Thanksgiving, and it was sold out.
So we did Hollywood Studios, and then we ended up last minute purchasing at the ticket counter park hopper tickets because our girls kept showing interest that they really wanted to go to Magic Kingdom, even though they chose Hollywood the first conversation we had, and we had already bought the tickets. So we're like, okay, let's just suck it up. We're gonna try to squeeze this all in one day and do Magic Kingdom too. So go ahead.
And we were successful. We got to Magic Kingdom, and honestly, I was, in fair disclosure, when we said we were going to Hollywood, which I was totally fine going to Hollywood, but I was a little disappointed because I wanted Dole Whip, and you can't get Dole Whip at
Hollywood.
And so I'm like, I'll spend the money for the park hopper tips just for the Dole Whip.
You spent a hell of a lot of money for that Dole Whip if that was what you went for.
But it was funny. We bought the park hopper tickets, and then the girls were like, "We're gonna do all 4 parks," and we're like,
They got so excited with it, and they had a lot of fun. But I have to say, like Jared said, the week of Thanksgiving was probably one of the worst weeks to come as far as the crowd goes, and anybody in Florida will tell you that. There was probably no line at either park that was less than an hour. Most were almost 2 hours.
We did learn something though.
What?
We weren't supposed to tell anybody.
No, that's right. We got through one of the Star Wars things.
The smuggler's room.
Yeah.
And so we walked in, and the line was like, 7 hours long, whatever it was. And the guy was like, if you don't mind the ride, if you don't have to ride together, you can take the single line. Which he said, you may get to ride as twos, you may get split up. He goes, it is what it is, but if you don't mind, you just want to ride your ride, go do it. And so we got through that line, and
he said, okay, at that point, the Smuggler's Run line was over 2 hours. And he said, if you do the singles, this could cut your time by an hour and a half. And we're like, sold.
Done.
We're doing the single riders line. And I think he was way off because we got through that whole thing, line and ride, in 10 minutes.
Yeah. And so me and Valerie had to ride separate, but your girls got lucky and rode together.
Yep, they got to ride together. I rode by myself with another family. It was great. It was great. And I timed it when I was in there. That whole ride, it's like an animated spaceship ride.
You're in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, it was exactly 3 minutes long. Was it 3? I timed it. It was 11. It was 10:32.
I think you said it was 3.
When it started, like the ship started moving.
I think you said 3 minutes as well.
And it was over at 10:35. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what Disney is. We wait 2.5 hours for a 3-minute ride. Okay, that particular one was 3 minutes. But I know that like Rise of the Resistance is much like more involved and maybe a lot longer. But I was shocked and I was like, okay, that was a good tip he gave us.
Yeah, and so we weren't supposed to tell anybody, so just don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody that we told you about the single rider line.
Yeah, please.
But you can't do that if you're little kids and you don't want to get split up. We were with our older teens and we were like, see you in an hour.
Yeah, we'll be waiting on you at the exit.
Yeah.
I almost feel like at Disney, and not to make this about Disney, but if you're going to go to Disney and you want to do multiple parks, you just need to book multiple days and do a park a day.
Yeah.
Because I kind of felt like we rushed around trying to do everything in one day that we really didn't get to do what we wanted to do.
Yeah, we'll wrap that up by simply saying the point is if you're coming during a holiday week, probably don't expect that you're going to get a whole lot squeezed in one day's time.
No.
Moving on, the other cool thing that you can do is, now we did this, and there's several different options here, but you can go to Palma Sola Causeway Boat Ramp, which is basically a causeway. It's like a highway, and you can just pull over and park there and camp out for the day and enjoy the water. It's kind of like a calm little bay area, not a whole lot of crashing waves. Like it's kind of calm and peaceful. And we met my brother there for Thanksgiving. We grilled out on the beach. It was great. We had little chicken sliders and chips and veggies and some desserts, but set up camp there, set up our tents, and he brought the jet skis and all the water toys, and we had a blast.
Yeah, we spent most of the day just hanging out at the causeway, and Emily she's like, every time we come to Florida, she's like, every time we go to Florida, I just missed, getting to ride jet skis. And so Louie is like, hey, take the boater permit, email it to me so we can print it out, take it with us, and you can ride away. And she rode away, did she? And she had an absolute blast. And so,
Yeah.
And it was a little bit chilly. The water was actually warmer than the air.
Okay, November lesson learned. It is freaking freezing if you get soaked and then the wind gets you. So it's not necessarily the water. The water is almost 80 degrees, but the wind.
Tube, it was so much fun. We about to froze. But the sun was out that day, so it did not take long at all. Once you got off the water and onto the sand, the sun's beaming down on you, like we dried off. It was great. It was perfect weather.
I just took, for me, the trick was I had 2 shirts, and so if I got in the water, I put on my water shirt, and as soon as I come out, I'd pop on a dry shirt, and it wasn't too bad doing it that way. But again, I mean, it's the end of November in Florida, and we were out playing on jet skis and grilling out on the beach, and it was something that we really wanted to do. It was just a really nice, relaxing, stress-free hanging out day.
If you don't like the Palma Sola area, which again, this was very convenient to Margaritaville. It was about an hour and 15-minute drive, maybe an hour and 30. But on Thanksgiving Day, like it was just a straight shot down Interstate 4 and then cut over to 75 and you go down past, it's a little south of St. Pete, near Bradenton. So very nice area. If you don't prefer that area, there's another causeway you can go to, which we did over spring break near Dunedin, and that's on Honeymoon Island. So you can do the Honeymoon Island Causeway, and it's beautiful palm trees, crystal blue water, and then if you don't want to camp out there on that little strip of sand, you can just hop on over to Honeymoon Island State Park. That's a great place to go.
If you have your bikes and you're in Dunedin, you can take the they have a bike path that runs you right over there, and it's actually a really nice bike ride, and it's a good place. It's just a nice place to go.
Yeah, you could load up your bikes in your truck and head over to Honeymoon Island State Park and just bike for the day, hang out on the beach. It's such a beautiful beach. But it is a little bit of a drive, so like we said, if you're at Margaritaville, you gotta be willing to drive a little bit to go do something outside of here.
Well, I think when I looked, it was 85 miles from here to the causeway.
Which one?
Palmasola.
Okay.
Just to give you kind of a mile reference to it, I think I'm pretty sure it's 84 or 85 miles, so.
I think it's a little further to Honeymoon Island.
Probably.
According to Lou and Christine. But again, like, you either want to do it or you don't, but those are two really great things you could do if you didn't want to just hang out here in the paradise in the parking lot.
But you know, if you're in the area and you're coming this way, you know, I would highly recommend. I would stay here again if we were in this part of Florida.
So we probably should say, would we come here again? You say yes? I think if we were coming here to do Disney,
I don't know.
I can't decide, because if I could pick up Margaritaville and move it somewhere else, I'd stay at another Margaritaville for sure. I don't know if I'm coming back to Auburndale.
Well, I think if I'm coming to Disney, I think me and Valerie's actually talked about this. If we're coming back here just to go to Disney, I'm probably going to stay at Fort Wilderness, just because it's easier to get around. You know,
True.
You don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to pay $20 to park or whatever it was.
True.
You can catch the boat or the bus and go to whatever park.
And it was $30 to park at Disney.
Yeah, so I mean, but they get you like $250 a night or whatever it was. But it's
Yeah.
I would probably stay there.
It would be a toss-up.
If I'm coming to Florida to go to the beach, like if we're going to Sarasota or something, I'm probably going to stay closer to the water, because
Right.
we don't normally come to Florida just to hang out in the middle. We tend to gravitate toward the water. So I think
I'm wondering if this is more for locals.
it very well could be. You know, we had one lady who's like, I can't believe you've never stayed here, because we were telling her this is our first time here, and we're like, we just never had. This is not where we come. We don't come to Auburndale.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was buying a camper from one of the big camper stores down the road, and I wanted to stay here for a few days to make sure my camper wasn't
Okay.
jacked up, I might stay here.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. Maybe there's a reason we would stay here again.
This is an awfully specific place to come.
Yeah, because like you said, I mean, you either want to do Disney or you want to do the beach. I feel like if you want to do both, then great. This is right in the middle.
Yeah, if you don't mind driving.
Yeah.
But it's nice. So if you're coming to Auburndale for whatever reason, you want someone close to Disney, but you don't want to stay on Disney property, it's great. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
So if you're still watching this video, you obviously like us, so you should like and subscribe. So we appreciate it. Hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving, has a Merry Christmas, or whenever this video comes out, had a Merry Christmas, have a Merry Christmas. I'm not sure when this one will hit. And we'll talk to you real soon.
See you on our next adventure.